Hello and welcome to everyone. This is Rabinshu Sharma, Assistant Professor in Department of Journalism and Mass Communication of Babu Banarsidass University. I'm back with the new topic of today that will be elements of design and the principle of design. I hope you must have remembered all the topics that we have discussed in the last video lecture, that was typography, graphic designing, and the color schemes, primary color, secondary color, and the tertiary colors. So today we will be discussing about the next level, that is the elements of design. There are the elements which are used in designing, and there are a few principles that are used in designing. So the elements of design, we will be discussing firstly with the elements of design. Elements of design are the basic fundamental according to which an artist, architect, or the painter that works. We all know that the designs that are used by the architect, the painter, the artist, and the other people who are creating to creative field, who are using designing, who are making things like so they need few elements. It is not necessary that all the elements are required in a design, but there can be two, three, four, or five elements as per your requirement. But at least one element is required in a design. So the first element of the design is line. The second element of design is color. The third element of design is shape. Fourth is texture. Fifth is form. Sixth is space. And seventh is value. See, these are the seven basic, or we can say it's are the important elements that one needs. डिजाइन हम कोई भी बना सकते हैं, कैसे भी बना सकते हैं, किसी भी तरीके के बना सकते हैं. उसमें हम चाहे तो एक एलिमेंट यूज करें, चाहे तो दो यूज करें, या दो से ज्यादा. तो हम नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में इनको एक एक एलिमेंट्स को हम डीपली डिस्कस करेंगे. शॉर्ट में अगर मैं डिस्कस करूं तो लाइन, we all know we are using lines from right from the nursery kg1 class. Colors we are using in every colors, in every design. Shape, square, rectangle, another thing. Texture, that we see of the different forms, different colors, जिसको हम छूते हैं और लगता है कि वो ऐसा फीलिंग आ रही है, लाइक वुडन का या वो आर्किटेक्चर का, वो ग्राउंड की या वो ग्रास की फीलिंग आती है, समथिंग दैट वी टच एंड फील. फिफ्थ इज फॉर्म. फॉर्म इज अगेन अ शेप. Sixth is value, and sixth is, sorry, space, and seventh is value. So we'll be discussing the elements in the next slide deeply. First is line. Extension of a point in particular direction is called line. See, extension in a particular direction, that can be a north, that can be in the south, and can be in the east and west, anywhere. So extending a point, it's a line. Line can be a straight, it can be a zigzag, it can be a curve or diagonal, whatever it is shown on a picture. Line can also be vertical, and it can be horizontal. Line is the basic element of the design. Sometimes we use the borders, that can also be a line. So here are the few examples of the lines. You can see it's a horizontal line. You can see it's a vertical lines. All vertical lines have an undefined slope. See, yeah, it's important. All the vertical lines cannot have a definite slope, so it's undefined slope. These are a non-vertical line with a positive slope. Moving right side is a positive, and the right and the left side is a negative. When we plot a graph, the y-axis, sorry, x-axis and the y-axis, to the left side of the area will be in the negative area, and the right side will be a positive. So with reference to that, we can see here it is a non-vertical line with a negative slope, and the right side we can see a non-vertical line with a positive slope. हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन जो वर्टिकल में लाइन है जिसका स्लोप जीरो है, दैट इज द हॉरिजॉन्टल एंड द वर्टिकल. These you can see it's a zigzag lines, and the other things. Coming to the next slide, color. Color is what we see when light reflects an object. See, when light falls on something, then the object, if it has some color like red, blue, yellow, green, orange, whatever, etc. If you talk about the primary, secondary, and tertiary color, then it's like so. When light falls on that object and it reflects, it's a color. See, every object around us has a color, either primary, secondary, or tertiary. Let me recall you one thing again. If we add two primary colors, we get the secondary color. If we add one primary and one secondary color, we get the tertiary color. What are the color? What are those colors that I've already discussed in my last video? If you want to read about the, or if you want to watch that video, you can go back to that video and see about the color wheel, color circle, complementary split colors. Third point, it completely depends on light that how a color looks like. See, if we have a brown color, if we throw more light, it will be light brown. If we throw less light, then it will be dark brown. So it completely depends on how light falls on the color. Next point, for example, in darkness, an object will show different color than to be in light. Every color has its own different shades, either light or the dark. Every color has different shade. Shade, what is shade? Shade, if we add the black color in a particular color, then it changes the shade. Generally, when you go in the market and you go for the outfits, you ask, it's a red color, but do you have more shades in this dress? Or when girls go to the market to buy a lipstick, then they ask for the different shades of the lipstick. So that's a shade, percentage of darkness in a particular color. That's a shade. Here is a color wheel again. What I have discussed earlier: primary color, secondary color, tertiary color. I'm not going to discuss this again. It's just a small recall. You can see it's a color wheel that I've already discussed. Primary color yellow color and red color and the blue color, secondary color orange color, violet color and the green color, and tertiary color yellow orange, red violet, blue green and yellow green color. Coming to the third element of the design, that is shape. Two-dimension surface is called shape. An object which has only flat surface like length and width. Shape does not have an thickness in it. Shape can be square, triangle, rectangle, or the oval. Let's see the example of some shape. Here you can see very common shape: a circle, a triangle, square, star, moon, rectangle, pentagon, hexagon, octagon, diamond. It's also called rhombus, cross, trapezoid, arrow, oval, heart, and parallelogram. Parallelogram generally it has two sides parallel to each other and they are equal in shape and size. So these are the few shapes that I used in the design. Sometimes we use boxes in a design. Sometimes we use, like when we design the greeting card, sometimes we use square, we use star, we use triangle, and the other things. If we talk about the infographics, the information based on the graphics, the elements, the shapes, generally we use a lot of shapes we use. Coming to the fourth element of the design, that is texture. Texture is what we feel, as I have already discussed. Texture, जब हम किसी चीज को देखते हैं, उसको छूते हैं और हम उसको फील करते हैं कि वो exactly वो real चीज है. So texture is what we feel when we touch any surface or any object. It can also be defined as a roughness or the smoothness of the subject. It's like, again, when we touch something, we can feel it's a smooth or rough. So based on that, the texture is, surface can be hard, it can be smooth, it can be rough. Every matter in this world has a texture. Yes, every matter in this world has a texture. If you talk about right now, where I'm sitting right now, you can see it's a chair. You can see you can't see it's a table because laptop is on the table. So it has some texture, whether it's a ceramica or whether it's steel base, and it has polished paint on the base of this table. So every surface has the texture. If you talk about the shirts, if you talk about the jeans, every cloth has the texture. Sometimes we notice texture of a surface just by looking at the object, and sometimes we need to exactly touch that object to get to know what the texture of the object is. Yeah, because nowadays very lot of new designs are coming in the market. So one needs to know exactly what does it is it. So sometimes we get confused. That's why we need to touch that object and we need to get to know about what the object is all about. Different object have different texture. So it's here are the few examples you can check. See, rough texture of a tree trunk. It's first image, it's here. You can see it's something like a tree rough type texture. As I've already told you, it can be a rough, it can be a smooth. So here you can see it's a smooth texture of the blanket. In reality, it's not a blanket, it is feeling like it's a blanket. Here again, it's a tree. No, it's not a tree. Texture is of tree. This can be the ceramica of my table or my chair or my Almira paint. Now again, it's a hard surface of a brick. As we can see, brick, when we will touch, it will be embossed somewhat. So when we will touch, we will get the feeling of, yeah, we are touching some kind of bricks. But in reality, it's not a brick. It gives us the feeling of the brick. Coming to the fifth element of design, that is form. Form. Three-dimensional surface is called form. Basically, in our school times, we have studied about the axis, x-axis, y-axis, and the z-axis. If I talk about the axis, see, it's a x-axis, it's a y-axis, and it is a z-axis. I don't have three pens right now, otherwise I would have shown you three axes. I hope you must have got this small thing. An object which has not only flat surface but has length, width, and the height. Three things that are important: the dimension, x-axis, y-axis, and the z-axis. That shape with thickness is a form. Form can be cubical, it can be sphere, it can be conical. Let me show you some examples of this form. See, here it's a sphere. Again, it's a cube. It has three dimension. This is, you can say, x-axis, y-axis, and this is what z-axis. Again, this is z-axis, this is y-axis, and this is x-axis. Again, it's a cone, pyramid, and cylinder. Each and every elements that you can see right now in front of the screen is a form, and it has three dimensions. Coming to the sixth element of the design, that is a space. This is the most important element, I could say, space, because if you add a lot of space in the design, automatically your design will be more catchy, more appealing, because you are giving a breathing space. What is that? The area around, below, near any object is space. Right now, in this screen also you can see this space, like space. This word is written space. Here is a space. Here is a space. Here is a space. Just imagine what would have happened if I have filled this entire screen with the text or with the images. It will be very in haphazard way that one would see and feel it's a very shabby design. So you need to give some space in all around the slide, like top of the bottom, top of the space in the bottom, this left side, like alignment space, left, right side. So it's all about the space. Let me show you some example. It's a small single image, and you can see the white color in the background. In the foreground, you can see this shape. So the space is there. It's a positive space. Sometimes I hope you must have remembered the advertisements of the iPhones, a big hoarding or the big billboards in your city in the prime location. You can see iPhone, that is in the center, and some two or three lines text is written or not, and the rest of the thing, white area, that is the white area, that is called the space. Coming to the seventh, that is the value. Value can be described as the darkness or the lightness of an object, not of the space, of the object, or the object that you're using in the design, the darkness or the lightness of the element. The value can be obtained by color, texture, line, or scale, but it is mostly related with the color because it shows the shade of an object. Shade, again, what is the shade? The darkness, the dark color that is used in the color, that is the shade. Due to value, one can differentiate easily in same composition. We don't need to require to change the composition. In the same composition, one can check the value. Like, it's an example of the value. You can see here its color is black. I would say it's a black. Now this color, this, and this, these are the three different shades of black. because the percentage of darkness is increasing gradually. If you talk about the first strip, it's a white and a little bit of black color. Again, we are adding few percentage of black. In the third script, we are adding few percentage of black color. In the fourth and in the fifth, we are adding black color little bit in the every step. In design here also you can see the percentage of the darkness, it's changing everywhere. Value can be obtained by color, texture and the line. So here you can see the color, that is black. Texture, it's a rough texture all over here. So thank you for reading this. I hope you must have liked this video. And if you have some queries, you can mention, you can ask about the questions in the comment section. And I hope you must have liked the video. Please like the video, share, and subscribe to my new channel. Thank you so much.